Hello, welcome back to part 2 of this story. Stay back and enjoy the captivating moment. Ivy's fingers flew across 3 keyboards simultaneously, windows cascading across her 6 monitors like a digital avalanche. Wei's tech team had discovered the breach. She could see their countermeasures in real time, aggressive code sweeping through his systems like antibodies attacking a virus. No, 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 she muttered, watching her back doors closing one by one. They were purging everything. In 60 seconds, 6 weeks of evidence would be permanently erased. Her hands moved faster than thought, typing commands in rapid-fire succession. She deployed a fork bomb, malicious code that replicated itself exponentially, consuming all available processing power. Wei's entire server network began to choke, progress bars freezing as his systems crashed under the weight of infinite recursive processes. It bought her 30 seconds. Ivy initiated emergency data extraction, pulling the final critical files, the Chinese intelligence emails, the murder contracts, the trafficking routes. The download bar crawled. 78%, 83%, 91%. Wei's tech team rebooted their systems, breaking through her fork bomb. 96%, 98%. The connection severed at 99.7%. Ivy stared at her screen, hands shaking. She had almost everything. But almost wouldn't hold up in court. A knock on her door, soft but insistent. Every muscle in Ivy's body tensed. She pulled up her security camera feed. Detective Sarah Kim stood in the hallway, alone, hands visible, no weapon drawn. No backup vehicles on the street outside. This was either a trap or a miracle. Ivy. Sarah's voice carried through the door, calm and measured. I know you're in there. I'm alone. And I'm not here to arrest you. Please. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Ivy grabbed the Glock from her desk, checked the chamber and moved to the door. She opened it just wide enough to see Sarah's face, keeping the gun behind her back. How did you find me? I'm a detective. Sarah's slight smile didn't reach her eyes. And you're not as invisible as you think. Can I come in? Every instinct screamed at Ivy to slam the door and run. But Sarah's eyes held something Ivy hadn't seen in 18 months. Genuine concern mixed with understanding. Ivy stepped back, letting her enter. Sarah's gaze swept the apartment. The server racks, the monitors, the evidence of a digital war being fought from a Tenderloin studio. She didn't look surprised. She looked sad. I know who you are, Sarah said quietly, turning to face Ivy. Not just Ivy Zhang the waitress. Ghost Protocol. The NSA whistleblower who exposed the Pentagon surveillance program. Ivy's hand tightened on the gun. Then you know there's a federal warrant. $3 million bounty. Why aren't you arresting me? Sarah reached up slowly, unclipped her badge and placed it on Ivy's desk. The gesture was deliberate, symbolic. Because I owe you my life. Ivy's breath caught. What? Sarah sat down, hands in her lap, making herself vulnerable. 5 years ago, I was a vice detective in SFPD. I reported corruption, officers taking bribes from Wei Chen's triad, looking the other way during trafficking operations. Instead of investigating the corruption, Internal Affairs investigated me. Her voice hardened. They used the Pentagon surveillance program, the one you exposed, to illegally monitor me. They built a case to discredit me, painting me as the corrupt one. They had emails, phone calls, all manufactured from surveillance data. I was 2 weeks from being fired and criminally charged. And then you released the Pentagon files, Sarah continued. You proved the program was illegal. Everything they'd collected on me became inadmissible. Their case evaporated overnight. You saved my career. Maybe my life. And 3 agents died trying to protect an illegal operation. That's on them, not you. 3 agents died because I exposed the truth, Ivy whispered, the familiar guilt crushing her chest. 3 agents died because they made illegal choices. Sarah's voice was firm. You exposed corruption. That's not a crime. That's courage. Ivy's gun hand wavered. She wanted to believe that. God, she wanted to believe that. I've been building a case against Wei Chen for 2 years, Sarah said. But he's a ghost. Every time we get close, evidence disappears, witnesses recant, and he walks free. Until you. She leaned forward. I know you didn't kill Danny Liu. The evidence is too perfect. Wei's signature, meticulous staging, but he always misses one detail. What detail? Ivy asked. Blood spatter on your shoe but no cast off on your clothes. If you'd fired that gun there would be blowback on your sleeves, your collar. But there's nothing. Someone with forensic knowledge staged the scene but missed that inconsistency. Sarah's eyes locked onto Ivy's. I give you time. You give me evidence. We take Wei down together. Before Ivy could respond, Sarah's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and her expression darkened. Federal marshals. They're flying into San Francisco tomorrow. Pentagon case. The task force has shoot to kill authorization if you resist. Sarah looked up. I can delay them 48 hours. Maybe. But after that you're out of time. Ivy's mind raced. 48 hours to clear her name, expose Wei, and somehow avoid federal custody. I have evidence, Ivy said slowly. 6 weeks of surveillance. But I need more. I need a confession, Sarah finished. On camera. Something even Wei's lawyers can't explain away. He'll never confess. He's too careful. Ivy pulled out her phone and texted Marco, "We need to meet." "No. I have a cop who wants to help." Marco's response was immediate. "Is she trustworthy?" Ivy looked at Sarah, at the badge on the table, at the woman who'd risked her career just by coming here. Yes. Sarah's late father's houseboat was moored in the Richmond Marina, off-grid and off-record. The three of them sat in the cramped cabin, hacker, cop, and hitman, united by desperation and a common enemy. Ivy spread her laptop across the small table, pulling up files. 6 weeks of surveillance. Murders. Trafficking. Money laundering. Everything. Marco leaned forward, his face illuminated by the screen's glow. This is enough to put him away for life. Not without a confession, Sarah said. Defense lawyers will argue the surveillance was illegal. The evidence is fruit of the poison tree. We need him on camera admitting to murder. Danny Liu's murder specifically. He'll never confess, Marco repeated. My father doesn't make mistakes. Ivy's fingers flew across her keyboard, pulling up Wei's communication patterns, his psychological profile built from 6 weeks of data. A smile slowly spread across her face, cold, calculated, dangerous. Everyone confesses when they think they've already won, she said. Wei's planning to sell me to Chinese intelligence. He thinks he's eliminated the only witness to Danny's murder. He thinks he's untouchable. She looked up at them. What if we make him believe he's won? What if we give him exactly what he wants? Marco's eyes widened. You want to surrender? That's insane. Not surrender. Bait. Ivy's smile turned razor sharp. We let him think he's captured me. We let him gloat. We let him confess to his partners, to the Chinese agents, to everyone in the room. And we record everything. Sarah shook her head. That's suicide. If anything goes wrong. I've been running for 18 months, Ivy interrupted. I'm tired of running. It's time to fight. Marco's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and went pale. We have a problem. Wei just sent out a directive to all his people. He turned the phone toward them. The message was simple and terrifying. Ghost protocol identified as Ivy Zhang, waitress at Golden Phoenix. $500,000 bonus for live capture. Kill anyone who helps her. Extraction team mobilizing. Target must be taken within 24 hours before federal marshals arrive. This is priority 1. Below it was Ivy's photo, not her waitress ID, but her MIT graduation picture. He'd connected the dots. Wei knew exactly who she was. 24 hours, Sarah whispered. He's moving faster than we thought. Marco stood abruptly. My mother. If he knows your ghost protocol, he'll assume I'm helping you. His phone rang. Wei's name on the screen. They all stared at it, frozen. Answer it, Ivy said. If you don't, he'll know something's wrong. Marco's hand trembled as he answered. Yes. Wei's voice came through cold and measured. Marco, I need you to do something for me. Something that will prove your loyalty once and for all. Anything. Kill the hacker. Bring me her head. You have 6 hours. The line went dead. Marco looked at Ivy, then at Sarah, his face ashen. He's testing me, Marco said. If I don't bring proof you're dead by dawn, he'll know I betrayed him. And he'll kill my mother. Ivy's mind raced through possibilities, through plans, through the narrow corridor of choices left to them. Then we give him what he wants, she said slowly. We fake my death. Stage a scene. Make it look like you killed me. And then what? Sarah demanded. Ivy pulled up Wei's calendar on her screen, his schedule for tomorrow night. Then we attend his victory celebration. And we make sure it's his last. Wei Chen's compound overlooked the San Francisco Bay like a fortress, modernist architecture wrapped in bulletproof glass and cutting-edge security. In his private office, he stood before floor-to-ceiling windows, leather gloves clasped behind his back, facing 2 men in expensive suits who radiated the cold professionalism of state-sponsored killers. The Pentagon hacker is here, Wei said, his voice carrying the satisfaction of a hunter who'd finally cornered his prey. In my city. Ghost Protocol. And I know exactly where she is. The lead Chinese intelligence agent, 50s, silver-haired, Beijing accent, smiled thinly. The ministry wants her alive. 10 million USD upon delivery. Plus future considerations for your Pacific operations. He paused. But there's urgency. Federal marshals arrive in San Francisco tomorrow. We extract her tonight or the opportunity is lost. There's a complication. Wei turned from the window. She witnessed a murder. One of my operations. I framed her for it, perfect evidence, airtight case. But if she talks before you extract her, then she doesn't get the chance to talk. The agent's expression never changed. We have a team standing by. Give us the location and she disappears within the hour. Wei smiled. I have a better idea. Let me deliver her to you. Cling. Contained. No messy FBI involvement. He pulled out his phone and dialed. Marco, I need you to assemble a team. 3 men you trust. We're taking Ghost Protocol tonight. Marco's warning came through Ivy's encrypted channel 60 seconds later. He's coming. Tonight. Extraction team. I can't stop it without exposing myself. You have maybe 3 hours. Ivy stared at her screen, watching Wei's compound through the security cameras she'd compromised during her infiltration. Her hands moved across the keyboard, pulling up blueprints, guard rotations, security protocols. Then a new feed appeared on her monitors, a live stream from an IP address in the warehouse district. Her blood turned to ice. 3 Golden Phoenix kitchen staff, Ming, the dishwasher who always smiled, Rosa, the prep cook with 2 kids, David, the line chef saving for culinary school, bound to chairs in a concrete room, duct tape across their mouths, terror in their eyes. Wei's voice echoed through the stream's audio. Miss Zhang. Ghost Protocol. Whatever you call yourself. You have 6 hours to surrender. Every hour you don't, I execute one of your co-workers. Your choice. Their blood or yours. A timer appeared in the corner of the screen. 5 hours 59 minutes and 47 seconds. 5 hours 59 minutes and 46 seconds. Ivy's vision tunneled. Ming was 19. Rosa had shown her photos of her daughters just yesterday. David had dreams of opening his own restaurant. No, she whispered. No, no, no. Her phone rang. Sarah. I'm watching the feed, Sarah said, her voice tight. We don't have a warrant yet. If we raid that warehouse without probable cause, everything gets thrown out in court. Every crime Wei's ever committed walks free on a technicality. People are going to die. Ivy's voice cracked. I know. But if we move now, we lose everything. Sarah's pause was agonizing. Unless you can give me probable cause. A confession. Something that makes the raid legal. Ivy's hands were shaking so badly she could barely type. Then I'll get you probable cause. And a confession. And the hostages. All at once. She pulled up Wei's calendar. Tonight, 9 p.m., International Partners Meeting Compound. The Chinese agents would be there. Wei's inner circle. Everyone she needed in one room. Marco appeared on her secure video chat, his face drawn. There's more. He's moving the meeting up. 7 p.m. He wants to celebrate your capture with his partners. He's that confident. Good, Ivy said, her voice steadying as the plan crystallized in her mind. Confidence makes people careless. Here's what we do. She shared her screen with Marco and Sarah. I'll hack into the compound's security system during the meeting. Marco, you stage a security breach at the warehouse. Explosives, smoke, chaos. You evacuate the hostages while everyone's distracted. Sarah, you coordinate the FBI raid for the exact moment Wei confesses. And how do you get him to confess? Sarah asked. Ivy's smile was cold and sharp. I give him exactly what he wants. Me. On camera. Helpless. He'll gloat. He'll explain how he framed me, how he's selling me, how untouchable he is. They always confess when they think they've already won. That's insane, Marco said. If anything goes wrong, you're dead or on a plane to Beijing. If I do nothing, 3 innocent people die in. Ivy checked the timer. 5 hours and 43 minutes. I'm not running anymore. Marco's jaw clenched. If he realizes I'm helping you, my mother dies. And I die. Then we make sure he doesn't realize until it's too late. The next 4 hours were a blur of preparation. Ivy programmed the compound lockdown sequence, code that would seal every exit, disable every security protocol, and turn Wei's fortress into his prison. She created a compilation video of his crimes, set to autoplay on every screen in the building. She established a dead man switch. If she didn't enter her password every 30 minutes, everything uploaded to the Washington Post, the New York Times, and every major news outlet simultaneously. Sarah briefed the FBI tactical team without revealing her source, framing it as an anonymous tip about a hostage situation that would give them legal grounds to enter. Marco planted small explosive charges at the warehouse, enough to create chaos and smoke without harming the hostages. He positioned extraction equipment and planned his route. At 6:47 p.m. Ivy's burner phone buzzed. Wei's message was simple. 6 hours, Ghost. You die tonight. Either by my hand or by theirs. Choose wisely. Your coworkers are counting on you. Literally. 5 hours remaining. The live stream timer ticked down. 4 hours 52 minutes and 33 seconds. Ivy's fingers hovered over her keyboard. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to disappear, to save herself. But she'd been running for 18 months and it had only led here, to 3 innocent people bound in a warehouse, paying for her crimes. She typed her response, "You're right. Someone dies tonight. But it won't be me." Wei's reply came instantly, brave words from a dead woman. "My men are already at your apartment. See you soon, Ghost Protocol." Ivy pulled up her apartment security feed. 4 armed men were breaching her door, moving with military precision through her server farm. They'd find nothing. She was already gone. She looked at Marco and Sarah on her screen. It's time. Wei thinks he's won. Let's show him what losing looks like. Marco's phone buzzed. Wei's message, bring her to the compound. Alive. The buyers are waiting. Marco looked at the camera, his face pale. This is it. Once we start, there's no going back. There was never any going back, Ivy said. She pulled up the compound security cameras, watching Wei in his office, surrounded by Chinese agents and triad partners, champagne already being poured. The celebration of her capture. The party that would become his funeral. On the warehouse livestream, the timer hit 4 hours. Wei's enforcer entered the frame, gun in hand, walking toward Rosa. Marco, go now. Ivy screamed. The warehouse camera feed showed a flash of light, then smoke filled the room. Gunfire. Shouting. The camera went dark. Ivy's heart stopped. Marco? Marco. Static. Then Marco's voice, breathless. Hostages secure. Moving to extraction point. But Wei knows something's wrong. He's mobilizing everyone. You have maybe 10 minutes before. The line went dead. On Ivy's screen, Wei's face appeared, staring directly into his phone camera as if he could see through it to her soul. Clever, Ghost Protocol. Very clever. But you've just made a fatal mistake. He turned to his guards. Lock down the warehouse district. Kill everyone inside. And find me that hacker. I want her alive for the next 5 minutes. After that, I don't care what pieces she comes in. The compound erupted into organized chaos. Armed men mobilizing, vehicles starting, the machinery of Wei's empire turning its full attention toward hunting her. Ivy's hands flew across her keyboard, initiating the final sequence. Sarah's voice crackled through the radio. FBI is 2 minutes out. Ivy, whatever you're doing, do it now. On the compound cameras, Wei was putting on his leather gloves. The same gloves he'd worn while framing her for murder. The same gloves that would leave no fingerprints when he killed her himself. Ivy typed the final command, her finger hovering over the enter key. If this worked, Wei Chen's empire would fall tonight. If it didn't, she'd die in that compound and 3 agents' deaths would haunt her into the grave. She pressed enter. Every screen in Wei's compound went black. Then they all displayed the same message. Hello, Wei Chen. Let's talk about murder. Ghost Protocol. The trap was sprung. And there was no escape for either of them. Wei Chen stood before his assembled empire, Chinese intelligence agents in tailored suits, triad partners from 3 continents, corrupt officials whose careers he owned like property. Crystal champagne flutes caught the light as he raised his glass. Gentlemen, tonight we finalized the Ghost Protocol exchange. $10 million for the hacker who embarrassed Beijing and exposed our Pentagon assets. A woman who thought she was untouchable. His smile was predatory. She's being delivered as we speak. The screens behind him flickered. Wei's presentation, financial projections, expansion plans, vanished, replaced by security footage. His own security footage. Danny Liu sitting at a table. Marco raising a suppressed pistol. The execution. Wei's voice, calm and cold, plant the weapon in the waitress's locker. The new one. Zhang. What is this? Wei's champagne glass shattered on the marble floor. Cut the feed. Now. His tech specialist frantically typed commands. I'm locked out. Someone's controlling our entire system. Every screen in the compound erupted with evidence. Surveillance footage of trafficking operations, spreadsheets documenting money laundering through 12 countries, text messages ordering murders. The Chinese agents' faces went pale as their own communications appeared on screen, classified intelligence operations exposed to everyone in the room. Chaos erupted. Partners turned on each other, voices rising in Mandarin, Cantonese, English, a tower of Babel built on blood money collapsing in real time. Find who's doing this. Wei roared, his cultured mask finally cracking. Find them now. 3 miles away, Marco triggered the flashbang charges at the warehouse. Smoke and noise filled the concrete room as he cut through the hostages' restraints. SFPD. You're safe. Move, move, move. He led Ming, Rosa, and David through the extraction route as Wei's guards converged on the compound, leaving the warehouse undefended. Back at Wei's fortress, every screen went black. Then Ivy's face appeared, not the timid waitress but Ghost Protocol, eyes sharp and merciless. Hello, Mr. Chin, her voice echoed through the compound speakers. We've never been formally introduced, though I've served your tea for 3 months. You know me as Ivy Zhang, the clumsy waitress. But that's not who I am. I am Ghost Protocol. And for 42 days I've been inside your phone, your computers, your life. Every murder you ordered. Every crime you committed. Every lie you told. I have it all. Wei's hands clenched into fists, leather gloves creaking. You think you've won? I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth. You can't hunt anyone from a federal prison. Ivy's smile was cold. And you won't be alone. A mechanical grinding sound echoed through the building. Every exit sealed, bulletproof steel doors slamming down, magnetic locks engaging. The compound's own security system turned prison. No. The Chinese agents rushed the doors, pulling weapons. But there was nowhere to go. Wei's fortress had become his tomb. FBI. Hands in the air. Sarah Kim burst through the main entrance with a tactical team, federal warrants in hand. Everyone in this building is under arrest. Wei spun, searching for escape, and froze. Marco stepped from the shadows, standing beside the FBI agents. It's over, Father, Marco said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. I'm testifying against you. Against all of you. Wei's face transformed, not anger but something worse. Complete comprehension of betrayal. His own son. His own blood. You're dead, Wei whispered. You and your mother. My mother is already in protective custody, Marco replied. And you? You're finished. Sarah stepped forward, handcuffs gleaming. Wei Chin, you're under arrest for murder, racketeering, human trafficking, conspiracy, and approximately 47 other felonies we're still counting. An FBI agent removed Wei's leather gloves, the symbol of his untouchability, and pressed his bare fingers to the fingerprint scanner. After 20 years of leaving no trace, Wei Chen's prints were finally in the system. Outside, news helicopters circled. Ivy had leaked the coordinates to every media outlet in California. The arrest was broadcast live, Wei's face in handcuffs beamed to millions. As agents led him toward the exit, Wei saw her, Ivy, standing with federal marshals but in protective custody, not chains. This isn't over, Wei hissed. Ivy met his eyes without flinching. Yes, it is. Your empire is gone. Your legacy is ashes. And I'm the one who burned it down. From a phone. From the shadows. From nowhere. She leaned closer. Remember that in prison, Mr. Chin? Every day for the rest of your life. Wei was dragged away, his screams of rage echoing through the compound. But as Ivy watched him go, a federal marshal approached her with handcuffs of her own. Miss Zhang, I'm afraid you're still wanted on federal cybercrime charges. The Pentagon case. You'll need to come with us. Sarah stepped between them. She's under my protective custody until... She's under federal jurisdiction, the marshal interrupted. And our orders are clear. Ivy's hands were cuffed. After everything, after exposing Wei, after saving 3 innocent people, she was still going to prison. The waitress had brought down the empire. But the hackers' war was far from over. 3 months later, Ivy Zhang stood in a federal courtroom wearing a tailored blazer instead of handcuffs. The immunity deal had been brutal, full cooperation, every detail of her Pentagon hack exposed, 18 months of testimony against defense contractors and corrupt intelligence officials. But it was worth it. The surveillance program has been officially dismantled, the federal prosecutor announced. And Miss Zhang's actions, while technically illegal, exposed systemic corruption that violated the constitutional rights of millions of Americans. All charges against her are hereby dropped. The gavel fell. After 2 years of running, Ivy was finally free. The press conference was a media circus. Cameras flashed as Ivy stood at the podium, no longer hiding behind oversized vests and thick-rimmed glasses. Ghost Protocol is not a criminal, the Attorney General declared. She's a whistleblower who sacrificed everything to expose the truth. Today we're recommending her for a presidential commendation. Ivy's phone buzzed during the Q&A, a video call from an unknown number with a Minnesota area code. She stepped outside and answered. Marco's face appeared, but different, clean-shaven, wearing a flannel shirt, standing in a kitchen with yellow curtains and morning sunlight. Behind him, an older woman was making breakfast. His mother. "We're safe," Marco said, his voice lighter than she'd ever heard it. "New identities. New town. My mother, she's got a granddaughter now. My daughter. She starts school next week. Normal school. No guards. No guns. No fear." His eyes glistened. "Thank you, Ivy, for giving us a life." "You saved yourself, Marco," Ivy said softly. "You made the choice. You're the one who had the courage. We both did." He smiled, a real smile, the first she'd seen from him. "Take care of yourself, Ghost." The call ended. Another call came through immediately. Sarah Kim, now wearing a sharp FBI jacket with Organized Crime Task Force emblazoned across it. "Congratulations, Captain," Ivy said. "Lieutenant Commander, actually," Sarah corrected with a grin. "I'm leading the team investigating every corrupt official you exposed. We've made 200 arrests so far. It's going to take years to clean up this mess. But we're doing it." She paused. "You changed everything, Ivy. The whole system." Ming, Rosa, and David had been granted legal immigration status and compensated for their trauma. Rosa sent Ivy photos of her daughter's graduation. David had enrolled in culinary school with a full scholarship. Ming was studying computer science, inspired by the hacker who'd saved his life. 8 a.m. in a San Francisco coffee shop. Ivy sat at a corner table, laptop open, surrounded by a dozen faces from the neighborhood. Immigrants, students, small business owners. She was teaching them digital privacy, how to encrypt communications, how to recognize surveillance, how to protect themselves from the systems designed to exploit them. Ghost Protocol Privacy Initiative, the banner behind her read. Because privacy is power. Her phone buzzed with a news alert. Chin Triad dismantled, 300 arrests across 3 continents. International Task Force credits Ghost Protocol evidence. A second notification, Ghost Protocol whistleblower awarded Presidential Medal for Public Service. Ivy smiled and closed the alerts. The medals didn't matter. This did, teaching people to protect themselves, turning her skills toward justice instead of survival. "Excuse me?" A nervous voice interrupted. A young Asian woman in a Berkeley hoodie stood beside her table. Are you Ivy Zhang? I read about what you did. The Pentagon case. Wei Chen. All of it." Her words tumbled out in a rush. "I want to learn. To help people like you did. But I don't know where to start." Ivy closed her laptop and gestured to the empty chair. "What's your name?" I'm a CS major. I'm good with code, but I want to use it for good. Not just, tech company stuff. I want it to matter." Ivy looked at this young woman, idealistic, brilliant, standing at the same crossroads Ivy had faced years ago. The choice between comfort and courage. Between silence and truth. "Sit down, May," Ivy said, her voice warm. "Let me tell you what real power looks like. It's not violence. It's not money. It's information. Truth. And the courage to expose darkness, even when the whole world tells you to stay quiet." May sat, leaning forward eagerly, eyes bright with purpose. Ivy's phone screen glowed on the table, the green hacked lock symbol, now reimagined as her nonprofit's logo. Beneath it, Ghost Protocol, because privacy is power. Outside the window, San Francisco awakened in golden morning light. Somewhere in a supermax prison, Wei Chen was beginning year 1 of a life sentence. Marco was making breakfast for his daughter in Minnesota. Sarah was building cases against corrupt officials. And 3 kitchen workers were living free. Ivy Zhang, former fugitive, vindicated whistleblower, accidental hero, began teaching another student how to fight back against systems that thrived in darkness. She'd been framed for murder by one of the most powerful criminals in California. Hunted by federal agents and foreign governments. Alone against an empire. But she'd had something Wei Chen never counted on. The ability to turn his own weapons against him. With nothing but a hacked phone and the courage to stop running, She'd become the architect of the largest organized crime takedown in West Coast history. Wei Chin had wanted to make her disappear. Instead, she'd made him infamous. The waitress was gone. The fugitive was pardoned. And Ghost Protocol? She was just getting started. Thank you for watching part 2 of this intrigue. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos on the channels.